Welcome to Split Red of Octane Online Racing's Simrigs Sprint Series. This week's race was round 2 at the tight technical turns of Misano. We qualified P4 in the Audi after a subpar qualifying session. I joined the server fairly late and I didn't get to grips with the car before we jumped into qualifying. As the lights go green, we get a good jump off the line, and so does the Bentley of Patrick Johnston with 3 wide into turn 1. Ricchuiti in the Ferrari goes deep on the brakes to hold his position, and being on the outside, I have to concede the position to Johnston and tuck him behind. Approaching turn 4, no major issues here at the start. Just settling into the race at this stage. It's lap 1, don't need to go for anything crazy. The Bentley ahead goes a little bit wide.
That's a track car. Oh, the Bentley's tyre saving already.
And yeah, just tags the sausage curb there and does a bit of a wheelie, which compromises his exit, and we get a decent run on him here into turn 8 at the hairpin. He goes a little bit wide to give us the space, and we take the inside. We're alongside here on exit, but the Bentley just has a really good drive out of the corner. So we're side by side here into turn 10. I'm trying to hold it around the outside, but it's not really going to work. He's got the shorter run. As we come onto the straight, it looks like because of the exit, I managed to get on the power a touch earlier, and we do actually have the run here down the straight. And we're fully alongside. We take the inside here. We now get the shorter run on the straight. We get the inside again here into turn 12, and we've got the move done before turn 13. Now that we're ahead, we just want to hit our braking marker, which is that white line, just after that white line on the outside of the corner. We just don't want to go deep. We don't want to let Johnston look for a move up the inside, and we hold on to the position. Now our focus turns ahead to Ricchuiti in the Ferrari. So in this race, we actually had a mandatory pit stop for fuel and tyres. So when you've got a tyre stop, like a mandatory tyre stop, you basically want to split the race in half. There's no point really going extra long or doing a really early pit stop. You want to maximise each set of tyres. You want to get the most pace you can out of both, and also by going halfway you minimise the fuel that's needed in both stints. So Ricchuiti and I traded lap times pretty consistently for this first stint. He'd go a couple tenths quicker, then I would do a lap that was a couple tenths quicker, and that the gap hovered around that 1.5 to 2 second range. Towards the end of the stint, he was a little bit quicker than myself. He started pulling that gap just a touch, so it was more like about 2.5 seconds before, well, as we approached the pit window.
That's the question, Mike. Because I kind of want to do the undercut to try and make something back up on Ricchuiti, but I don't want my tyres to be any worse in the second stint than they are now. But your tyres are generally better in the second stint, just for reasons.
So as we're approaching the halfway mark of the race, I'm deciding what I want to do. So Ricchuiti is about 2.6 seconds ahead at this point. I can go for an undercut, so the tyres go off at Misano pretty quickly, and they were fairly warmish temperatures as well in this race. So the tyres weren't feeling the most amazing as they did at the start of the race. So I know the undercut is going to be a little bit stronger judging by the splits with the Wednesday night, but I'm a little bit worried that I might get stuck in traffic. I know in Split Red there's a couple stragglers that like to pit really late, even though it's not the optimum strategy, so I'm really tossing up what to do. And so I make the call here to just do the opposite of what Ricchuiti does.
No, he's still ahead. I reckon I just do the opposite of what he does this lap.
So as we're coming around the final few corners, I've got my eye solely on Ricchuiti here just to see what he's going to do. If he jumps into the pits, I'm going to stay out one more lap. If he stays out, I'm going to jump into the pits. And as we round the second to last corner here, we can see that he is not peeling off into the pit lane, so I decide to jump in.
Staying out in the box.
So about 45 seconds later, we jump back out onto the track. The pit exit here at Misano is quite long, but you do skip turns 1 and 2, so it sort of balances itself out. We come out into some beautiful clean air. You know, plenty of space to push which we really need to do here. To make this undercut work as well as possible, I need to push as hard as I can on this outlap to get the biggest gain I can. Ricchuiti's a very experienced driver, a very clever driver, so I'm expecting him to jump into the pits immediately after he's seen me pit to respond immediately. To confirm my suspicions, I look over at the track map and I can see that he has actually jumped into the pits. So he wants to minimise the gain that I'm going to get on him by going for the undercut. As we round turn 1, I hear the spotter come over the radio saying there's a car exiting the pit lane, and I look over and we can see Ricchuiti has just come out just ahead of us. Takes a little bit for the gap to settle, but when it does, looks like the gap to Ricchuiti is only about 1.6 seconds, so I've gained a second on him with that undercut, which is about what I was expecting. It's really, really good. However, I do notice that we are quickly approaching some drivers that haven't actually pitted yet, but that were far enough behind that the pit stop has brought us out behind them. Ricchuiti gets an easy move here into turn 4 on the BMW. He squares off the exit, sort of blocks me a little bit here, then sort of opens the door into turn 6 and then closes it.
What are we doing?
And luckily for me, he does go a little bit wide and I do manage to get the run, and I get an easy move into turn 8 up here at the hairpin. It was a little bit frustrating, but I didn't lose too much time to Ricchuiti. Now skipping forward, we've got a little bit more traffic here to contend with. We've got some back markers, we've also got some more cars that haven't pitted. We see Ryan Anderson going side by side with Ricchuiti through the final corner and then into turn 1 as well. Which is going to compromise him a little bit, so hopefully I'm hoping to make some gains here. I do catch Anderson into turn 2, doesn't slow me up too much. He does give me the position here at turn 4. So really happy to not lose too much time here, and I can continue the hunt to Ricchuiti. So now that we've cleared all the traffic, myself and Ricchuiti have some clean air, so just monitoring that gap. I want to keep it as low as possible. It's only 1.2, hangs about that 1 second to 1.2 second range, and I'm really just trying to figure out where I can make a move, Ricchuiti. So first of all, I want to catch him. And then second of all, I want to see if I can determine where his weaknesses are. So I have noticed the Ferrari was very, very strong through turns 4, 5, and 6. So the very technical section in Sector 1, it seemed like the Ferrari could basically just go full throttle through that entire section, whereas in the Audi I had to lift quite a bit to get the run down into turn 8 that I wanted, into the hairpin. So with that kind of run that he was getting out of turn 6, I couldn't really do much into turn 8, which is one of the greatest overtaking opportunities here at Misano. I also noticed he was very strong through turn 10 as well, the right-hander onto the back straight, so that was, really unideal, because that's the second next best place is to get a run down the straight and look for a move into turn 13 and 14, so the fast right-hander and then into the hairpin in Sector 3. So with about 10 minutes to go, the gap had halved to Ricchuiti, so I'd slowly reeled him in. The gap now about 0.4 of a second, so I'm well within striking distance. I start showing the nose here into turn 1 just to show Ricchuiti, like, I'm here, mate, and try and force the error, because I think that's the only way I'm going to get past. So with about 8 minutes to go, I noticed Ricchuiti really struggling with turn 13 here, but I knew this was where I had to pounce. He was struggling so much with that corner that I knew if I just scared him a little bit, I could get a move done, but I had to get a good run onto the straight, which is characteristically was one of the better corners for Ricchuiti than myself. He was getting a really good run onto the back straight, so I knew that was where I was going to get the move done, and where I wanted to get the move done. I just had to play my cards right and strike at the right time. As we come across the line to start the next lap, I noticed two back markers ahead fighting really hard. They're going side by side into turn 4 here. I know this is probably going to compromise Ricchuiti, as he's the one that's going to approach them first, so I deliberately hang back here through the turns 4, 5 and 6, and I really focus on my exit here. As I planned, Ricchuiti gets compromised on the exit here heavily by the Porsche, having to take a compromised line, and we get a mega run here down the straight. I clear Ricchuiti before the braking zone, but because he was going a little bit slower, he could brake a touch later, and
it's well played from Ricchuiti.
in his credit, it's a really good move to hang it back up the inside and retain the position. In hindsight, I should have come across to the left and blocked the inside and forced Ricchuiti to either stay behind or look to the outside to make the move. As we come through turn 10, I'm in the slipstream and I have a bit of a speed advantage down the straight. I'm closing up to the back of Ricchuiti coming into sector 3.
Hopefully I'm close enough to scare him.
I decide to brake a touch early as we're going into the right-hander to try and get on the power a little bit earlier and go for a bit of a switchback because I know he's been struggling here with turn 13. I'm still, even though I have the overspeed, I'm still a little bit too far back, so I just show the nose once again into turn 14 to try and force the error. Once again, I show the nose into turn 1, trying to force the error, and once again into turn 4. I need Ricchuiti to make a mistake here to get past. Our cars and our pace are too evenly matched to make a conventional overtake. As we approach turn 10, I focus on my exit. I need to stay as close as I can to Ricchuiti. This is the closest that I've been so far, only 0.2 of a second. Coming onto the back straight, I need to make sure that he doesn't get a better exit than me. And we get a decent exit here. The gap opens up a little bit, but I'm in the slipstream, firmly in the slipstream now. I'm gaining on Ricchuiti down the straight. I have a good run and the overspeed on Ricchuiti, and I know he's been struggling with the fast right-hander at turn 13. I look to the inside of the right-hander, but I have no intention of making the move here. I'm just trying to put him off. I brake early again and focus on my drive to the hairpin. My plan works exactly how I want. Ricchuiti thinks I'm looking for the move, and he turns out the corner slightly, compromising his line and his speed. He gets a bit of a twitch on the exit curb, which snaps him right slightly, putting me off, but I'm basically alongside and have the inside for the hairpin. Ricchuiti tries going deep to hold it around the outside, but outbrakes himself, and I go through to take P2. The move between myself and Ricchuiti was also captured on the official broadcast.
But here, come back to Breno Ellis. He's in a nice load of slipstream here. Is he going to go for the move? He's going to look to the inside. That would be very tight. Ricchuiti has to go very wide to try and prevent contact, and that opens the door. Fellas up the inside, and Ricchuiti, trying to react to it, goes deep, and Ellis has played that to perfection. He finally gets the move done on Ricchuiti in very clean style up to second.
That was classy driving from Breno there. Showed the nose here for Stefano wide, held him out on the outside, avoided contact there. Stefano's then gone hot under the brakes into that final chicane, and Breno has gone, thank you very much for P2, my friend. I will see you at the checkered flag.
Now I've got to hold on for the last couple of laps. Ricchuiti is not letting me have this easy, and I just need to make sure I focus on my braking zones and my exits to ensure that I don't go deep and give him an opportunity to take the position back. Into turn 8 on the next lap, Ricchuiti seems a little bit desperate and he brakes incredibly late, maybe trying to put me off, maybe just trying to go for a move. He gets really close to tagging my rear end. I actually have to let off the brake to give myself a little bit of extra distance, and when I look at the replay afterwards, this is actually what saved me from contact. This seems to happen a couple more times, and the dying laps of the race, including an attempted send into turn 8 where he actually does tag my rear end.
Yeah.
So all in all, I was able to hold onto the position, and I come across the line to take P2 here at Misano in round 2 of the Simrigs Sprint Series.
Let's go, boys! P2, come on! Awesome race, Stefano. Awesome race, mate.
I was really happy to get the move done in the end in Ricchuiti with a couple of laps to go. By being able to recognise where he was weak in the lap and where I could really capitalise on that, which ended up being turn 13. So I got a good run onto the straight and was able to just put him off a little bit more than usual at turn 13, just slip up the inside exactly how I wanted. So all in all, I was able to snatch P2 from Ricchuiti in the dying laps of the race with a well set up and executed move in Sector 3. I thought this race was a great demonstration of my racecraft and my thought processes on strategy and on-track racing. I really hope somebody found some value in this little recap, especially the newer guys and those starting to find their feet in sim racing. Thank you for watching, and I'll leave it there.